Hi everyone, it's always a pleasure to come back to Real Life Talk. My name is Lady C. I hope the new year is treating you well so far and your plans you've written down, you've broken it into action for us to be able to get to where we want to get to at the end of the year. I hope you've wrote yours down and you are working on it. Anyway, my name is Lady C at Real Life Talk. You are listening to Real Life, where everything is real. Now, I've been dealing with a subject on my journey to entrepreneurship, and it's been very interesting. Sometimes when I finish the video, I always have a call. I'll always get about 3 or 4 phone calls, and one of them was always a question. And when a question is being asked directly, I always want to kind of like talk about it, because if one person has that question, it might be many people have the same question. So the question came up last week, and this is one of my very good friends who is a family in Real Life Talk, and she was asking me that, well, Cynthia, you've been talking about savers. What about miscellaneous? I said, well, it's a good point. I mean, you've brought a very good point up. And I will touch on that subject. And I made a promise, and this is it. Now, with miscellaneous, yes, unforeseen circumstances do happen quite a lot, doesn't it? And some of them can come from where? I'll give you a list of places that I think that we should really watch out for. However, when we're doing our savings, we should always put away at least 5 to 10% away towards miscellaneous, because things do happen. Okay, those of us with young children, sometimes all of a sudden your children are having birthdays back to back. You have family birthdays back to back, which sometimes we do know the family ones, but when you have children and your children have friends and they want to go to all the parties, because you know how it works, and you don't want your child to really miss out on that party. So I think that is part of the miscellaneous that we need to put away. And one of the things that I would suggest that I've really worked on, that has really worked for me, is to put away 10% for your miscellaneous, put 10% for your savings, put 10% for put another 10% down for what you call emergency. It's very, very important. So that's 30% out of your salary, right? Here you are. Now, let's look at the areas that we need to be careful when we are doing our budgeting. Today, we want to talk about budgeting. And in the budgeting, we will then now break it down and see how it will help us. Now, let's assume that you earn maybe 3K a month. You need to take 30% away towards all these things I've said earlier, i.e., some of the things that you should really watch out for that can't really jeopardize your plan for savings and budgeting is things to do with church. I know this is going to sound very funny because I'm a church girl, don't I? Yeah. You should watch out, because those of us who go to certain churches that they always raising funds, they always all of a sudden you need to sow a seed for whatever the reason is. As a child of God, or as a spiritual person, when you spend time in the presence of God, sometimes you do hear clearly in your spirit to sow a seed. I think you should follow that more than somebody else telling you to sow a seed and using scriptures, sugarcoating scriptures to convince you to give, because that would then go into your savings, or maybe it's not part of your budgeting. However, if you want, you can put away seed sowing as well. Put it part as your emergency. When it happens randomly and the pastor just come up with I don't want to go so much into it, but you know what I mean. So just watch out for that. Please watch out for charities. You know, sometimes we see these adverts online, charity. I'm a charity girl myself. I have a charity myself. But what I want to tell you right now is that put away some monies for that. Put away a small percentage for the charity. The whole idea is that you want a clearer picture this year. And believe you me, I've been doing this for the last 8 years, and I can assure you that when you start doing that, you will see where you're going financially. You know, when we talk about being successful financially, it's not about a lot. It's about the accumulation. It's about the compound effect, which I talked in my video, one of my videos couple of weeks ago. You know, the compound effect is very, very important. Yeah, so when you get your salary, your savings should be first. It might sound crazy, believe you me, your savings should be the top of the list before your rent, before your bills, before what's not. And you know, some of us, we can cut down on some of the phones that we use, because some of us have got phones that are so expensive. You know, we can cut down on so many things to help us to be able to do a proper budgeting, because you need to save enough for your pension as well. You need to save enough for holidays. So you need to sit down and do that analysis yourself and do that breakdown. But if you have questions about that, please put it on the comments. I'm happy to show you mind charts, how I do it, so that it's easier if you want to use mine as an example to just help you to achieve your budgeting for this year. So watch out for family issues, i.e. Family from back home, those of us in abroad. You know, sometimes randomly somebody will just call you and say that, oh, you know, your uncle's head is coming off, so you need to please bring your hand so that we can catch it. Please, when somebody's head is coming off their neck and you need to catch it, please, you need to make a budget for that, because sometimes the head is actually not coming off. So we need to watch out for that. Yeah, because sometimes we just send money, and sometimes it can really affect us. It can really affect our budget. It's not part of your budget. Make sure you make budgets for everything. And this is what I do, okay? I make a budget, how much I need to send home. And at the end of the month, when that is finished, it's finished. It doesn't matter if somebody's hand is coming off their shoulder. It's not part of my budget, not this month, no. So it has to be next month. Let their hands keep coming off. Next month, I'll come and help them to put it up. Because if you don't do that, you need to be a little bit tough when it comes to budgeting and savings. I know this might not sound very well for some people because of what you know, who I am and what I do and stuff like that. But believe you me, I do budget for all these things. And if I said I've budgeted 200 for home and 200 is finished, that's it. Okay, they won't die. Believe you me, nobody's going to die. Anyway, watch out for subscriptions. Yeah, those of us in abroad, watch out for subscriptions. Some of us have so much subscriptions. Go through your account. Take 6 months of your bank statements and go through it systematically. And then you see that some of the things, last year I was going through some of my bank. I do, for me, because it's now a lifestyle, something you've been doing for 8 years, right? So it's now a lifestyle. So something I do that almost every end of the month. I'll sit down and go through all my accounts. And if I show you the amount of accounts, bank accounts I have, is just unreal. But that's me, yeah. Because of the stuff I do. So I'll go through everything, including my business ones and everything, and family ones, you name it. And I will say, oh, why? Okay, I saw a £3 that I've been paying for a washing machine. Yeah, the washing machine is 10 years old. Why do I need to still pay, you know? So I canceled that £3. £3 times 12, you know, it's not a lot. But imagine you have £3 like that, 7 of them in your accounts. It's a lot. That's the compound effect that I'm talking about today. Yeah, so we're looking at budgeting. The other thing is eating out. Hey, that's another one. Eating out. You know, sometimes I have friends who just call me randomly. Oh, Cynthia, you know, can we meet up for a tea and da, da, da. I make budget for my eating out. You need to make a budget for your eating out, okay? And when you go, make sure you stick to your budgets, okay? Why are we doing this budgeting? It's just so that we can have financial freedom. Financial freedom does not come overnight. It takes time for it to happen. So for us to be able to achieve this, we need to be disciplined. The word is discipline. People, discipline. Family, discipline. Okay? Yeah, so the other thing we should watch out for is holiday. Holiday. Some of us really like holiday. We like going on holiday. And, I think last week I have two of my friends who just called me. Oh, I have emergency. I need to go home. I need to go and do this. That's a holiday. So do you have a budget for holiday? Have you budget for it? Or you're just going to use credit card and then when you come back, you have to pay the interest and pay the interest. Please make a budget for your holiday. Even if it is £50 you want to put away for your holiday, please do so. Okay? Those of us who are back home, please do the same, because sometimes you just need somebody passed away, and people passing away, nobody tells you when they are going to pass away. So these things do happen. Yeah. So let's make budget for it so that when it happens, we have the money sitting there. And then another thing that I should not forget to tell you, please, when you make a budget for something, i.e., you've made a budget for birthdays, and this month there's no birthday, please, that money is not for you to touch. Leave it, even if it is an envelope, just put it in an envelope and write birthday. Leave it there. If it is 3 months, no birthday has come up, leave it there. The reason is that, believe you me, at the end of the year, you will need that money to patch something. Okay, so just leave it there. Leave it alone. One of the things is our car. Ooh, yeah. Okay, now this is what I do. What I do is that I make sure that every month I pay my car insurance the whole year. If you can do that, that will help. Because the insurance company use a broker. The broker charge you broker fee every single month. If you can pay it off, anything that you can pay it off that you will reduce the interest, please do so. I know sometimes it's difficult, but plan it. So like beginning of the year, this is beautiful time to actually start it. So this month, you could just put a little change somewhere. Even if you just leave it in the pot, just like any pot in the living room, just drop it there. At the end of the year, and then you can use it to just pay your car insurance off. I'll tell you how much you will save. It will blow your mind. You can check it yourself. So try and do that, because that will help with the budgeting. Okay? Yeah, anything that will accumulate interest, always try and pay it off as quickly as possible. I'm talking about real life in living. I'm not talking about business. Don't mix it up, okay? Because the question came up. So don't mix it up. If it is business, I will tell you what to do with business. With business, I'm the champion of owning. Like I literally own every bank. Everybody that is around me knows that. I literally own every bank because it's for business. That's different. I'm talking about personal. We want to have good life. We want to be able to afford things. We want to go on holiday and at least 4-star. So for us to be able to achieve all these things, we need to make sure we are planning ourselves properly. This year, you know what? There is a seminar that is coming up, and I would definitely invite you, if you are closer, just come and see, how all these big budgeting people, how far they've gone with it and how it has helped them. Please, I'm not saying don't give. Don't get it wrong. I said budget for it. And when you hit your target, don't go beyond it. Okay? Take my word for it. You will be. Anybody that is waiting for you, they will wait. Because you are first. You should take care of you first. Because even when the scriptures clearly tell us that, love your neighbor as yourself. So it's not just love your neighbor and leave yourself out. You need to love yourself. It's very, very important. I do budgets for my nails. I do budgets for my massage. I do budgets for a lot of things. And I write it down. I think the best thing is to actually show you what mine is like. And then maybe we can take it from there. Thank you very much for listening. So please, this year, budget well. Okay, try and budget because it will really help you. It will help you to foresee far. And the last tip I'll give you before I run off. Any shopping you do, thank God for mobile phones. Our mobile phones are so smart. Our mobile phones are so intelligent these days. It does everything for us. Just grab a notebook from your one of your apps. Open it, any shopping. That's what I do. I've been doing these notes. I've been doing it for 3 years. But writing my budget directly into the spreadsheet, I've been doing it for 8 years. So anything I'm telling you, I've worked it and it works. And I've come across people like myself who is doing crazier than I am doing. And I've spoken to people who said, you know what, if I have to do budgeting, I don't think I can live. I said, you can, because that will actually help you to have something. And then when you know that, okay, at the end of the month, by the time I'll pay everything, I have nothing left, then you can now plan what you can do to addition. Then you can find a side hustle or something, just so that you can subsidize, so that you can have comfortable life, a cushion life, if you know what I mean. It takes a while. I didn't get here by overnight. It took a while. So believe you me, it will take you a while, but you will get there. Yeah, I know some of us are very good with budgeting, but we are not disciplined. We will start and then we will stop. Don't start and stop this time. So make sure everything you buy, I mean it, even if it's £1, 50p, write it down. You write it, just keep writing. If you go to Sainsbury's, just write Sainsbury's, £5. If it's Asda, just write it. If you just bought something at charity shop, I go to charity shop sometimes to pick up things because sometimes I don't want to spend so much money on, shops and things like that. So I still use charity. I use Facebook, what do you call it? Markets, is it Facebook Marketplace? I use that. Just, all those things. Anything. When you go to Amazon, write it down. If it's Amazon, write it. Just keep writing. At the end of the month, you will be shocked. And then that will now help you to analyze and say, oh, this thing was not that important. Then the following month will get better. Another month, it will get better and better and better. Thank you so much for listening to Lady C on budgeting. I love you with 1,000 kisses. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for your encouragement, your support. I love you to bits. God bless you. 1,000 kisses. What can you see? Tell me what you can see, and you will get there. God bless you. Shalom, shalom.